Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how I add keyways to sprockets and shafts to line them up and keep them locked together when they're spinning. I'm right in the middle of making another video about an aluminum can shredder, and I need to add some keyways to these 4 sprockets and shafts, so I thought I'd make a separate, more detailed video in how to actually fully make the keyways. So first off, the key itself is just some medium carbon steel, and this is milled really square. And then there will be half a square notch on the shaft and half a square notch on the sprocket, and the key just slides in between them and keeps them locked in the same position. The keyway on the shaft is really easy to do. You can get to it from the outside. I'm just going to throw it in the mill and cut a square notch right down the shaft. But you could also probably do this with a grinder if you were really careful. But the internal keyway on the sprocket is a lot harder to get to. So this actually uses a tool called a Keyway broach, and this is just a piece of really hard steel with a bunch of teeth on it. Starting from the bottom, as the teeth go up, each tooth gets a little bit longer, so that you put this in the center of the hole, and as you press it through, it's cutting deeper and deeper with each tooth until you finally got a rectangle hole right on the side there. But you have to have an internal bushing that you put in here to keep this centered and exactly in the position you want. So the first thing I'll need to do is make the bushings that will fit into the sprockets, and every bushing needs to fit the exact job. So the diameter needs to fit snugly in here, and then it will have a groove that needs to match up with this keyway broach specifically. So if you make a lot of keyways, you can use the same broach every time, but you'll end up with a lot of different bushings made to fit that exact job. For the bushing, I'll just use a piece of oversized scrap steel, and I need it to be about 1 1/4 inch or 30 mil long to fit inside the sprocket. And then I want an oversized shoulder about 6 mil or 1/4 inch so that it can't slide through the center of the sprocket. It'll drop down to the shoulder and stop. And then I've just given myself some extra length to mount it in the lathe. So I'll just turn down the first 30 mil to fit snugly inside the sprocket. So here's the piece with the shoulder, and it can drop down into the sprocket and then stop at the shoulder. And then I'll just cut off the excess. Now that the bushing's turned down with a nice shoulder, I need to mill a slot in it, just the right size for the keyway broach to fit in. I need it to be the same width as the back of the keyway broach, and then I need it to be the right depth so that the first tooth just barely pops out and engages with the workpiece on the outside. So I'm going to stick this in the mill and get that slot milled in. So I should be there, but before I take it out of the vise, I want to go ahead and test it because I'll never get it back in the vise exactly how it is now. So that is a nice snug fit, and the depth feels good to me. So I'm gonna call that good. So that's it with the slot cut in it. Now I'll go take it and clean up all the burrs and polish it up. First I'll go over it with this really fine file, and I'll just hit all the edges to knock off any burrs. Next I'll take this sharpening hone and just on the inside edges give a few passes. I just want it nice and smooth on the inside so that the broach can glide really easily on it. Okay, so now I can do a final test fitting, and this should slide through really well. Yeah, that's gliding really nicely, and there's basically no movement between the two pieces. And now you can see with the depth set that this first tooth is barely visible, so that would take only the tiniest cut of the sprocket right on the corners. And then as they slide through, each tooth gets a little bit higher, so it'll be cutting out a little bit more. So by the end here, it's cutting probably 2.5 mil there. And if you need to take a deeper cut, you can take one of these shims and just drop it into the bushing. So then as you start the cut, the first tooth is already starting about 2 mil up. And so by the end of it, now you're taking about a 4 mil cut. And you can just keep adding shims until you get the full depth that you need to get. Now to set up for the actual cutting, it's really easy. I'll just drop the bushing right into the sprocket, send the broach through there on the 4th tooth. That just engaged, so that's ready to start cutting, and I'll just take some cutting fluid and add that to each tooth. And now I just need to press this through, and I'll end up with the keyway. There's all sorts of different presses you could use to push the broach through. This is an arbor press. This is my hydraulic forging press. You might have a hand-operated floor press. You might even be able to jerry-rig a vise to work. I've even heard of some people using hammers and actually hammering these through. I really don't recommend it. These broaches are really hard and brittle, so it's easy to shatter them or to crack a tooth off. But I know that some people have done it when they haven't had access to a press. The only real requirements for the press is that the working height is tall enough to fit this whole assembly in, and that there's a hole in the bottom so that the broach can pass through. For example, with this arbor press, the bottom here is easy to pass through, and you could put the sprocket right on top of that gap there. This one isn't actually tall enough for me to use for this, and I don't do a ton of these, so I like to do them by hand because I can actually feel the pressures, feel what's going on. If I did it on something like this, there's a good chance that I'd build up some pressure, and before I realized it, damage the actual broach. So I've made a little modification for a car jack that I'll show you right now, and I feel it just gives me more control and more feedback as I'm pushing this through. Okay, so this is the thing I rigged up to be able to use as a press. If I did a lot of these, I'd probably invest in a hand-operated floor press, but I do a couple of these a year, so it's not a big deal. And this is just a square frame of tubing welded up, and then a piece of 1/2-inch plate with a hole cut into the top here so that the broach can pass through that. And I can just line this up with a standard 3-ton car jack. So that's just pushed through, and then I'll level it out with some wood. I'll pull this right to the edge of the table, get it nice and lined up, and then just throw a clamp on the edge of the jack to the table. That way I can come over to this side and just use the press like that. Okay, this is ready to go in the press, so I'm just going to line it up with the broach passing through the hole and engage the press. Okay, alignment's really important at this point. You want to make sure that the broach is perfectly aligned with the bushing so that it passes straight through. If it begins to tilt in either direction, then it's not going to cut an even keyway. And this is where a straight up and down press is going to have a big advantage. As this comes up, it's going to tilt this way. So I'm going to have to realign it several times throughout the pressing. If this was something I did very often, I would definitely invest in either a bigger arbor press or a hand-operated floor hydraulic press. But this works for the amount of keyways I actually do. It just is a little more finicky and takes a bit more time. Okay, so that's all lined up and ready to go. And I'll just really slowly start going through. And then periodically, I'll just grab it in position, loosen the press a little, and re-engage just to make sure that I'm getting the alignment consistently straight. And this looks to be cutting really well. Sometimes you'll get a bit of a jerk when one piece releases. Just try to go slow and smooth if you can. Just reset and keep going. All right, it's just about through. All right, that was it. And then I'll just carefully take it out to not damage the teeth. All right, and here it is. And just pop the bushing out, and there's the start of the keyway. I probably need one more pass with the shim in to finish this one up. So I'll pop the bushing back in, drop the shim in, and then get the broach started and engaged on the 4th tooth. So now I'll just get this through the press again and it should be done. And there we go, that should be a deep enough keyway. So there's the keyway cut, and here's the key steel that'll sit in it right there. So the last thing now to do is to cut the slot on the inner piece. Okay, so here's the shaft that'll mate up with this. I'll just have a little bit of space. So I'll cut my slot to here, so roughly right there. And then it's easy to add keyways to the shaft because I can just mill a square groove right down the center. If you were really careful with a grinder, you could probably actually even do it just with a grinder. All right, that is perfect. That is a really nice fit. So here's the keyway all finished. Just line them up together and insert the keyway steel. Then I can just cut this down to size when it's all assembled and I know how I want it together. Anyway, I need to get back to the aluminum shutter project, and I'll have that video out pretty soon. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.